Okay, guys, appreciate you being here today. Just kind of a quick recap for Texas State first. Really proud of our team. Thought we, to get to be 1-0 in the conference and get off to a good start, I thought was really important for us, and so really proud of the effort. I thought we handled, the previous week of getting our game rescheduled and kind of refocusing. I thought we handled that distraction really well, and obviously the weather on Saturday was a concern the whole time, but really, really excited about how our team responded. I think it's a sign of a mature team when you can, handle things like that you can't control. So I thought we came out and played with a lot of passion and energy, and we're really excited to play, which a lot of times is really important in winning a football game. We weren't perfect, a lot of things to clean up, obviously. Some areas we got to improve on to be the team we want to be, but I was excited about that. I really also want to take the time to thank our fans who turned out for this game. I mean, it was the best atmosphere we played in by far this year in what's obviously an unusual year. But, our student section, they were loud, they were awesome into the game, and our band, the Sound of the South, as usual, was outstanding. I even had the other coach tell me that was awesome, the pregame stuff they were doing and playing, and all those things go hand in hand with it helping us win the football game. I know our guys are always excited to play here at Veterans Stadium, but at the same time, that was an unbelievable experience and really making the best out of a situation like we've never been in before in 2020. So thanks to our fans, thanks to our students, and obviously the band as well. And Sound of the South is awesome as always. But good to get off to a 1-0 start, and looking forward to this week. Offensively, I think we played pretty well. Lots of things to clean up. We weren't as clean as we wanted to, especially early. I thought we had some areas that we had a couple miscommunications on and so forth, but I also like the way we responded, and we continued to play fast. We continued to make plays down the field. I thought Gunner played well. He looked poised and confident, which I thought is really good for his growth. If he'll continue to get more and more comfortable and get a better feel for how things are going. You got to remember that was only his third start, so I like what I'm seeing out of him so far. And really it goes hand in hand with our protection, our running backs and our O-line. I thought they did an excellent job of keeping guys off of him, giving him the ability to go through his progressions and really make really good decisions. So hats off to the O-line and running backs. We didn't have any penalties there, so another good day from that standpoint. Kimani Vidal, obviously at running back, just really, really came in and played well for us. I think he's the third freshman to run for 100 yards in school history, true freshman. So, really excited about, obviously, the future with him. And then I thought Kalen Geiger and Reggie Todd showed up and made some plays down the field. I think we had 10 or 11 different guys catch passes, so a lot of people got involved, but those two really stood out. Defensively, really, really pleased with how we played. 2 out of the 3 games we played in, our defense has really done a nice job of limiting explosive plays. And I think that's the key to playing good defense in this day and age. With all the good offenses out there, trying to limit the explosive plays and the ones that are short drives. And those are things I think our defense is really focused on in the offseason. Our staff and our players have bought into, and just really, if everybody's doing their assignment, then make them drive the field and see what happens. I think we gave up just over 200 yards in 3.5 quarters. The last 2 drives, I know we subbed some guys and they hit a few runs, but really pleased with how that unit played. Javon Solomon and John Hines both stood out to me after watching the film up front on the D-line. Both those guys were extremely active and did a great job of really disrupting the offense. Carlton and KJ, as usual, very solid. KJ played 3 positions, all 3 linebacker positions in this game, so tells you how smart, what a good football player he is. He understands the game. He loves it. He competes at a high level. So both he and Carlton, I thought, were really solid. And then in the back end, I was really pleased with Dale Pettis and O'Shea Fletcher. And O'Shea is a guy that is coming on and getting better and better, and we need that. We need as much depth as we can from back there. He had to play last year, probably, honestly, before he was really ready. So really excited about those 2 guys in the secondary. Special team-wise, we really, honestly, probably didn't play to our standard, and that's something we're going to work on today at practice. We gave up a couple kickoff returns that we're not happy about, and really it came down to just not executing. We got out of our lane and didn't attack it the right way. Field goal and PAT was bad. Just no other way to say it. Combination of the snap, the hold, and the kick at times. So we got to get some answers there, especially protecting those things, because we're going to have games that's going to come down to a field goal or a PAT. So we got to do a better job of that. We did down a punt on the 1 yard line, which was an excellent job. Kyle Cole made a nice kick there. And then we also executed the surprise onside. Jack Martin did a really good job with that, and we recovered it. And so that was good. We executed, but at the same time, a lot of work to do. We got to get better. If we want to be the team we want to be, we got to really improve in that area. Offensive player of the game this week was Gunnar Watson, 33 of 46, 338 yards. I think 4 touchdowns. Biggest thing for me is no interceptions. He, in a game where the weather wasn't great, and he executed the offense. He was also named the Sun Belt Conference Player of the Week on offense as well. So really excited about him. Hopefully he'll continue to grow and improve each week. Defensively, KJ Robertson, I thought stood out. He was our defensive player of the game. 5 solo tackles, 7 total, 1 pass breakup. Like I said earlier, played all 3 positions. Just really one of the leaders that makes us tick on defense. So, and then special teams, I think we'll give it to Jack Martin. I thought he executed the surprise onside just like we practiced it, and was pretty good with his kickoff. So really excited about Jack, and he's our special teams player of the game. Scout team players this week were players of the week were on offense. Robert Marsh is a slot receiver from Phoenix City. Excited about him. He always gives great effort and just with a great attitude, just a joy to be around. Defensively, Jalen Beasley, a kid from Georgia that's a DB. He did a great job playing what we called the Bobcat, which is their guy they played in the middle as a safety there. That's really important to what we were trying to do. So, and then on special teams, Keyshawn Swanson was our special teams scout team player of the week. Great effort. But look, moving forward, Eastern Kentucky comes in here. This week we get to play at the Vet again at home. One of the traditionally good football programs in the FCS. They got a history of winning championships there. They've done that for a long time, and I think it shows about their commitment and what kind of program they have. That a lot of the FCS schools are not playing this fall, and these guys are committed to play. And I think that says a lot about their program and how important their program is to that university. I think we played them 4 times, maybe even back in the 90s was the last time we played them when we were a 1AA school ourselves. We got a lot of respect for their program, and I know they'll do a great job. They'll come in here ready to play and excited to play, so we got to make sure we're as excited as they are. Their head coach is Walt Wells, really good guy, really good football coach. I've crossed paths with him over the years at several different places in recruiting or competed against each other. I know he's got an O-line background. They'll be well coached, they'll be physical, and they'll be tough, and they'll play extremely hard, and you can see that on film. He's doing a good job of really putting his fingerprints on that program. So we expect a really good football team coming in here. Offensively, very multiple, 10, 11, and 12 personnel groupings. They present you a lot of formations. I think they're going to run the football. They got a good running back, a guy named Alonzo Booth, who really led the OVC in rushing last year. Or in touchdowns, in 2019. Big and physical running back. I think he's kind of the centerpiece of their offense. So we're going to have to match the physicality of him in that O-line up front. We're going to have to play sound fundamental football because and they will run the quarterback some too. So, we got our work cut out for us. It's a different type of animal that we're going to see this week from the standpoint of scheme. So we're going to have to be dialed in and doing being where we're supposed to be and matching the physicality. Defensively, mostly an odd front defense, physical up front, play extremely hard, very, very sound in what they do. They're going to make you earn it. I think the defensive coordinator there, I don't know him personally, but I know he's had success at several different places, and they'll have a good plan, I'm sure, for us. They're led, I think, by one of their outside linebackers, nickel guys, Matthew Jackson. He leads their team in tackles and tackles for loss as well as sacks. I think, obviously this is a game that we're going to have to go out and execute the offense and really, I think it comes down to really us this week getting ourselves focused, playing to our standard, practicing to our standard, and being prepared. And I think that's what we're kind of selling to our team this week. But, excited again to play at home. We got, the next 2 weeks at home, which is always good. And we're looking forward to getting started this week. All right, questions?
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah. Saturday I was, I asked Carlton about the defense, and it seemed like they played with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, a little bit of an edge, especially in that second half. Almost like they wanted to prove something. Is that something you noticed, and is that something you noticed in practice? Especially after the BYU game, that they wanting to maybe come out and prove something?
I think so. I think this whole year is kind of the way they're approaching this. We didn't play good brand of defense last year, just being honest. We can use a lot of excuses if we want, but at the end of the day, I think Coach Hall and his staff and our players, the Carlton Marshalls, KJ Robertsons of the world, and Dale Pettises, they want to play to a certain standard, and I think that was something that definitely is in their mind all the time at practice as well as the game. The BYU game, we actually played the first half really good defense, and offensively we just couldn't get it going to help them out. But really pleased with the progress we're making so far. Obviously there's a lot of things to clean up still. Brandon was talking about that yesterday. Just we got a chance to have a really good defense, but there's still some areas we need to clean up as usual. But I think those guys, if you look around, we had a lot of guys that played last year a lot of returners, and lucky for us, a lot of guys that will come back next year. So I just think they're trying to hold themselves to a high standard and really get themselves in position always to make the offense earn it. And I think that's the key in college football. It's all about explosive plays, and if you can limit those and tackle well in space, then I think you have a chance to have a good defense, and I don't think we're any different.
Chip, on a team that's got a lot of really talented receivers, I think Brett Stark maybe kind of flies under the radar a little bit.
Yeah.
Catches a lot of passes and seems to be real clutch. Can you talk about his progression?
Yeah, Brett's one of those guys, when I got here, I don't think he had a huge role before I was here. I think he was a younger guy. And that spring, my first spring, you could tell he had some talent. And I think, Brett and I, we've talked about this since. We had a couple one-on-one meetings where, I told him, I said, you're talented enough, but here are the things we need to see you do better. Here are the things you have to improve on to have a major role in what we're doing. We're committed to playing a lot of receivers. We do that 8 to 10 guys, and the reason is because we want to play fast, and to do that you got to have some depth there. And what I like about Brett is he's a smart football player. He gets the offense. He's become extremely consistent catching the ball, which maybe my first spring that was one of the things I challenged him on. He's taken pride in route running. His attitude, his energy's been good. He's just a guy that I think has really developed in the last year and a half, and he's a guy that we count on. He's very, very solid, no ego, just kind of plays his role and does a good job. And when he gets an opportunity to make plays, he's proven to do that. So really enjoy coaching him and really all our guys. We feel like we got a lot of guys that we enjoy that are our kind of guys, and he's no different.
Coach, you talked about wanting to clean some things up this week, not playing exactly as clean as you wanted to the past week against Texas State. How do you do that? How do you use that approach this week with a out-of-conference opponent coming in?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the standard that we want to execute, the level of standard we want to execute on offense. It's funny. Each time you play a game and you have all these plays and you go back and you watch the game, if you don't play as well as you wanted to, it really always usually comes down to, we had some things there and we didn't execute it the right way. And so I think what we're trying to do each week, and not just this week, is focus on what we can do to improve our execution, because offense is all about executing at a high level. That's how you stay consistent, and I think that's been going to be the focus for us. It has been, and especially when you go into a non-conference opponent, you want to make sure that that's your emphasis and not really just, hey, we can run this play against this, but we've never run that play before or whatever. I think that's important, and I think what it does is in our offense, repetition is extremely important, and being able to execute, and that's kind of what our focus is going to be really in all three phases this week.
Kimani's off to such a good start, and I know you want to get carries for all these running backs, but you kind of have a game plan going in with Kimani and BJ and that kind of thing, or you just go with the hot hand?
No, we have a game plan. We feel like we know those guys really well and who is capable of doing certain things in our offense. At the same time, sometimes I don't even know which one's in the game, to be honest. But I think you saw Jamontez Woods show some ability there on Saturday and some things that he's good at doing, and Kimani as well, and BJ and DK still gets in there and does a really nice job for us. I think it really comes down to who you trust the most that can execute the offense and who understands what we're trying to accomplish, and then try to put them in the best position you can where they can make plays, and I think that's what offense comes down to. And again, we don't really get concerned with how many times we hand the ball to them or throw it to them. It's all about touches, and it's all about making the defense defend every position on the field, and really that's kind of all we really focus on.
Can you hear me, Coach?
I got you.
Okay. I was just wondering, being able to bounce back on Saturday, getting a big win after a forfeit, and then also that loss to BYU, and the game was crazy with the rain and all of that. Just what kind of toughness, that Trojan toughness that you always talk about, how was that on display Saturday?
That's a great point. Trojan tough, one of our mantras this year really includes really focusing on the things that you can control and not not the things that are kind of out there that you have no control over. I think it shows that our players are maturing. I think it shows that we have the right mindset. The BYU thing was probably not even – it was so long ago, 2 weeks ago, and then but coming off an opportunity to play your rival and then it being rescheduled and having to refocus on a different opponent very quickly, I think speaks a lot to the toughness of our team, at least the mental toughness. And those are things that we do talk about every day and things that I think our players are bought into. So I was really pleased to see that, really pleased to see how we responded, and hopefully we'll just continue to grow in that area as this season plays out. Who was that, Adam? Hey, Justin, I couldn't hear you the question.
I said, you got a tournament coming on Saturday, FCS playoffs and things like that. How do you approach a opponent that is really out there just playing something really and play for it?
Well, I think you're asking me about refocusing on a non-conference opponent. It's going in and out, but I think that speaks to, we just got to really hold ourselves to a high standard on what we want to be here with Troy football. And no matter who we play, whether it's BYU, whether it's Eastern Kentucky or Texas State. So I think we'll continue to use that approach as we move through this week and this season. And, again, I think sometimes the outside people get more caught up in all those things than we do. We're just trying to improve each day and give ourselves the best opportunity to win.
Yeah, it was really exciting to see. I just seen a bunch of exciting guys on the field, ready to play. Like even before the game, you could just feel the energy, how pumped we were just to play, and I just love it. I love it. It just reminds me of good times on practice fields when we all fired up and ready to practice. So I love it.
Javon, being one of the younger guys, you've been around a couple of years, but is there anyone who really took you under their wing and helped you grow as a player since you've been there?
Oh man, there's so many guys, especially my first year here. Jarvis Hayes, he's an old guy. He's gone now. Jarvis, Zoe, there was John Hines now, Richard Jubenar. There's so many guys here that's willing to help everybody get better. And just as a whole, just on different techniques like pass rush, run blocking, you got a great D lineman, Will Cholo, that always has an open hand just to say, hey, you gotta do this, hey, you gotta do that, and I love it. It's a great feeling to have being on a team like this.
We can't hear you, Justin.
Oh. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. What were some of the differences you guys worked on this past week since the BYU game against Texas State?
Yes, sir. So I'm pretty sure you've seen the BYU game, of course, but that's why I think we all took that in consideration, and it was, instead of being more of a burden, it was more of a lesson. So we all took it in. And, our South Alabama game got canceled, so that took even more time for us just to prepare and see our downfalls in that game, that really boosted us up to be ready and amped up to play Texas State. And I feel like that's what really propelled us. It was BYU game. I feel like that's what made our defense way better.
Coach talks about being Trojan tough. He talked about it just a few minutes ago, and I'm curious from a defensive perspective how you think the defense has really grown in that mantra through 3 games.
Well, I feel like it started from the first game. I mean, during our new strength coach Witt, I feel like he installed that perfectly. I mean, if you look at our defense, I feel we got guys flying around, we got guys banging heads, and that's Trojan tough to me. I love it. And then if you look at it from a whole, from like the D line to the linebackers, you see dogs. You see dogs everywhere. So I mean, there's nothing much you can really say about that. I mean, that's Trojan tough if you look at it.
Another place you guys are very talented at is in the running back group. What is it like going up against those guys day in and day out?
I tell you, it's definitely a challenge. It is, because we have an inside period, and they all get reps. So what you see in the game is, I promise you, is they do it in practice. I mean, especially with the freshman Kimani, man, he was my workout partner during the spring for a while, and what I was doing, he was doing. There's no downfall with him. And of course the GOAT, I call him the Billy Goat every day. BJ, I mean, he's amazing, dude. And Charles, there's just so many good running backs, and even my class, Jamonte, there's just a lot of people that you love to see on the field, and when they get their chance, they shine every time. DK, wow, yeah, really good group.
As a whole, how has that made you better going up against these guys?
If you look at it, because they all got their own different type of skills. Like some got better vision than others, power. So you get all that type in practice. So I feel like that definitely helps a lot, especially when it comes down to just wrapping up those guys up and just trying to hold them. I mean, it's a challenge. So I feel like that builds you better and better for any running backs we can ever come against. I mean, if you look at it, we got different type of running backs, like different size, different everything. And when those guys come at you, you gotta hold your water. So I mean, it definitely preparation for other teams.
Anybody else? All right, we're waiting on Kimani to get out of workouts, and Brett got.
Kimani, I just had just one question for you. How would you describe your running game? Are you a power back, a speed back? Do you have agility? How would you describe the way you run?
I would say I'm like all of them really. I'm not the greatest like ever at one or the other specifically, but I feel like I'm the all around back.
How does that kind of help you out on the field, having all these different qualities in your game that they do?
Like you can really just use your the asset that you need to in certain situations, and like if you have like the week that you're playing, if you have like a linebacker that's specifically more like stronger, or so to speak, then you can mostly use your speed against him. But if you have someone that's a little bit quicker, or can move around a little bit better, then you can use your power a little bit more.
You're obviously new to the college game. What's the biggest difference in playing collegiate football, in high school? What was the big difference when you first, maybe stepped on the field?
Bigger, stronger, faster, pretty much. Just better football, better technique, and they do the little things right with collegiate football compared to high school.
What is it been like getting to not only learn from BJ, but also get to train with him side by side at practice? How has he kind of taken you under his wing?
B is a great guy. I don't know if y'all noticed, but on that the long run I had, he had a great block on the edge that allowed me to get out, and he's just a great guy. We don't really even talk about so to speak, training or anything like that. We just really just talk about being a better person, and the rest will take care of itself.
There's obviously a lot of running backs vying for carries, and they get into the game. How does that drive make you better? How does the competitiveness, in that room make you better as an individual?
It's just, that's kind of hard to answer, but I'm saying, like, everybody has their strengths and their weaknesses, and Jamonte is he does a lot in the open spaces, and I take some things from him, and they take some things from me in terms of being like more power in the aspect of me and Jamonte's, but it's a very competitive.
Can you hear me now, Tommy?
No, Justin. Just while Justin gets in a better spot, rushed for 100 yards on Saturday in just your third game. Did you think it would, take you that long, or just talking about the experience of rushing for 100 yards?
I don't really get too much into the stats or anything like that, but I kind of thought so. Like once the game ended, I was like, oh, I might have rushed for 100, but I never thought like anything of that. I'm just trying to win the game.
What's your relationship like with Javon Solomon?
Oh, that's my boy. When we first came back in June, me and him were workout partners, and I don't know how it really started, but me and him we usually go back and forth that in like squat and power clean and things like that. So that's why we're so close.